We can cover that.
You know
Let's
what?
open
I
with
don't
gun
care.
safety.
This happened a couple years ago. I don't know if I should tell people, but you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. All right, guys. Welcome to Dudes Like Us. It's March 21st. It's the second half of a fantastic lineup that we've got going on. First half was off the hook, man. Can you imagine we didn't talk about politics at all?
I know.
That's very rare.
And we kind of came into it going, what are we going to talk about?
Accordingly, the second half will be nothing but politics.
Yeah.
No, we're not. Actually, there's nothing to talk about, really, because it's all the same stupid bullshit.
It's the same bullshit.
You know,
It
there's
really
just...
is. It's so cyclical.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to arrest Trump, and Biden's an idiot, and we're giving billions of dollars to Ukraine, and Putin and Xi from China are colluding for world dominance.
Correct.
And then there's more examples of woke.
Yeah, man, what is woke?
All the same old shit, man.
Well, the thing is, they're trying to get the conservatives by saying you can't even define woke.
Yeah. Woke is...
I think it's political correctness
Well,
to another level.
woke is finding a fault in anything without holding yourself accountable. That's woke. I mean,
That's a good question. How do we define woke?
I saw actually a definition of it today. It was pretty good. I need to find that. But that's kind of how they're trying to defeat the whole woke bad narrative that is going on out there, because it's bad. I mean, everything is ridiculous.
It's a negative, yes.
well, they had
100%.
Jen Balsacki had her first debut show on, I think, yesterday, and excuse me, I mean, she brought up, I believe, woke and trying to define it, and and then it was. They're kind of say, well, there's several versions of, the Democrats think woke is this and the Republicans think woke is that. I look at it from the perspective or an analogy of, if you're a Karen, you're woke. And a Karen is finding frivolous things to complain about that don't have any merit in the real world. It's like kids roller skating down the street, or getting bent out of shape for them rollerblading or roller skating on a sidewalk or somewhere. There's a time and place for everything, and there's always a better way to handle things. And don't be that person. There's woke people that are, do you talk about these people that want to define, hey, look, I'm going to identify as they, them? Well, that's just stupid. That's not woke. Seriously, that's just stupid. That's ignorance, and that's not even woke. That's just stupid. If you want to identify, if you're female biologically and you want to identify as a male and you identify as a he, him, well, you know what? That has some merit. If you want to walk around as a dude and you're actually a female,
It
I'll
doesn't
give
make
it to
sense.
you.
No, it makes. If you're really a dude and you think you're a female,
I'll respect it, because I don't give a shit. If you look like a dude and you're out there playing golf with me and are doing, just doing dude things.
it's called cross-dressing.
Whatever. I'm just saying, I would be like, hey, I'm hanging out with my guy friends. It's not a big deal. Hey,
There's been cross-dressing
circle.
for forever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, forever. It's actually referenced in the Bible.
Yeah, I mean, that's been going on, but
They
I think
call
the
it
difference.
the 13th warrior
but,
was supposed to be a cross-dressing male.
I don't know, but the difference is it's jumped a level where that says
It's normal.
no, it's biology. It's going against biology,
Right.
where men can be women and women can be men, which means men can have babies, which means I'm a man.
Now,
Can I have a baby?
You don't have
that's
have
where
a
you cross the
womb.
line.
That's what I said. That's what the
know-
difference is these days. That's what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
I am a man.
No, you're not.
I am a woman because I think I am, therefore I am. No, you are not. You still have a dick, whether you cut it off or not. You don't have ovaries. You don't have a uterus. You don't have any of that shit in there.
I think the best analogy
We found a rare
was
thing that triggers Jeff.
Well, it just pisses me
Wow.
off. It's so illogical.
It is illogical.
the best analogy I found was the little photo of the Pizza Hut and the Pizza Hut had closed, and it turned into a chow mein or whatever. It says that it doesn't matter what it is, it will always be a Pizza Hut.
Right, you always knew what it was.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And it's like that. It's like you've got that there's some trans dude, and what's that bitch's name that was with Adam Sandler? Oh my God, blonde girl.
Drew Barrymore.
She was on her talk show.
Oh, I saw
and
this.
she gets on her hands and knees, and you know what? And look. I listened to the thing, and what she was talking about was sincere. All right, but it doesn't matter because it was sincere coming from her about her. But when you tie it into what that guy is, and if you want to identify as a female because you're a guy and you're doing that. Whatever, but you're still. These guys are talking about putting ketchup in their underwear to synthesize, a period.
Yeah,
Is it really ketchup that they're putting?
They freeze ketchup and they shove the frozen capsules up their asshole. So when it melts, it simulates bleeding.
It's retarded.
You're being 100% serious.
100% serious.
Okay.
Yeah, and why do you know that?
Okay, that's an excellent question too. That's actually probably better than my question. No, I just but
no, I heard the same thing.
I have no words.
I heard the same thing, and that's just it. And now that is, to me, that is kind of what the woke program is all
silly.
about.
That's trying to act like something you're not.
It's taking an irrational notion, and it's like. It's just not real. I don't care if you want to walk around like a male or a female. If you want to walk around as the opposite sex, okay, fine.
Right.
You feel better about yourself walking around in the skin of the opposite sex. I'm not going to fault you for that.
Yeah,
I think it's a little weird, but you know what? I'm still going to respect you. I'm not going to treat you any different. I'm going to be really nice to you and cordial. Blah blah blah. Because I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
However.
Right.
Don't come to me and say, you need to take a couple days off because it's that time of month.
No,
that's just not fucking happening.
It's not so much that. I'll do it. Let me finish that analogy and see if you agree with me. It's more, today is Fly the Trans Flag Day, and you choose not to.
Oh, yeah, well.
And now you're a bigot,
misogynist,
they heap
racist.
Hate on you, right? So everything you said up to that point was perfect, right? Do what you want to do. If however, I'm going to respect you, blah 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 blah. But don't make me fly the Trans Flag Day,
right?
And then if I don't, I'm an asshole. Like I'm a racist and Marxist and all these crazy things that they call people, right? They attack, right? And that's what they do, and they make all of us fearful for
reciprocity.
That's right.
We're going to get.
We're fearful not to go along with it because we don't want to be labeled any of these things.
Well, it's like that San Jose Sharks goalie.
That's right.
Refused to wear the gay pride jersey.
There you go.
During practice,
they attacked him.
It doesn't matter the reason why. It doesn't have to be for religion.
They want to force the issue.
Full
That's
acceptance.
The thing. They want full acceptance, and if you don't, you are against us. No,
right.
I just don't care, and I'm not. And you can't force your beliefs on me. It's just like a religion, like you said.
Yes,
I'm not whatever Jewish, Muslim, Catholic. I don't believe it. Don't force it on me.
Right.
Right. I will come to my own conclusions myself.
Right.
And if I convert, I convert.
And seriously, that is the difference. That's the difference. I think these people have been around forever. Like
it's like a religion these days.
I mean, it's no different than anything else. I mean, like we all have weird things that we do, things that we like, blah 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 blah. But I mean, I'm not gonna call you a racist because you're not a Tennessee Titans fan. You know what I mean?
Who is?
I'm not gonna. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna call you.
I'm not a homophobe because I don't want a trans. It doesn't even need to be trans. What is it? The drag queen. I don't want a drag queen reading stories to my kid.
Right.
How are you going to explain that?
Right, and that is hate. Like now they're saying,
come on.
Your reaction to saying you don't want that makes you like that's the way they get you. That's the tactic.
See that? It's
It
just
is.
like, what if I
If you
don't
don't
like
agree with
chicken
me-
sandwich? What if I don't like chicken? What if I don't like pizza?
Right.
If I don't like pizza, am I now
that's my
hate
point about
Italians?
the Tennessee Titans. It's like if you don't agree with me,
Oh God.
you are all these things. You're heaping on all these names.
Or it could be the opposite. So if you're a Tennessee Titan, you'd be like, oh well, you must be a pussy.
Right. Then you start heaping stuff on me for liking the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
I mean, but you see my point. It's just so ridiculous. I mean, and it's
You can't win against that argument.
no. And that's the point. You're not meant to. You're meant to be shamed into compliance.
And
Correct.
the problem that we're
intimidated.
getting is that you got California that has made it a law to identify people as a he or she, and it's like I can't go up to a police officer and say, hey, that guy just fucking hit me in the head with a hammer.
And he goes,
Oh my God.
I'm not a guy. I don't associate by he.
Oh,
he,
sir, you just broke the law.
He misgendered me. And then they arrest you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Retarded.
Totally. I agree.
Yeah.
It's totally stupid.
That's happening up in Canada. We talked about that, where the kid got arrested for
Refusing to acknowledge.
correct or misgendering or whatever the scenario was. In Canada, that's against the law.
It was a Christian student that was sticking to his guns about there being only a male and a female.
Correct.
And they arrested him.
And
And he tried to come back to school. And
They
they
arrested
called the
him.
cops on him and arrested him and yanked him off the campus.
That's a law in
Is that
Canada.
a public school? Like, wasn't even like
I think it's a public school.
I don't know.
Might have been a Christian school.
I don't know.
That's the other crazy thing. Christian schools are now cracking down on people that don't think that
Has the Pope
aren't
weighed
acknowledging
in
that
on
there's
this?
more genders.
Is what?
Has the Pope weighed in on this?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I tell you what, the Pope. I mean,
He's a fairly
a lot
socially
of-
liberal. Pope.
he's exceptionally liberal. I mean, there are conservative Catholics that are very upset with this Pope.
Kiss Jesus.
But I'm talking about like they're changing rules to where now priests don't have to be celibate.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that just came up like last week. It's like, oh, really? Okay. And so they're going to start allowing, priests to be married in the Catholic Church. They're going to start allowing this.
Is that because they're finding it harder and harder to find priests?
That might be.
So they're like, okay, we need to.
they're finding it harder and
something-
harder to find heterosexual priests that will commit to that.
No, I think it's a matter of, well, that could be, but I think it's a matter of they see their enrollment, just like the military, right? You have to have continue enrollment to backfill, right?
Right.
So I think their enrollment to become into theology school or whatever you want to call it is way down. So they have to like, okay, we need to make this a little more attractive. A lot of guys these days don't want to be celibate the rest of their lives when they're 20,
Yeah, no, I get it.
right?
I mean, it's no different. We talked about this a while ago. It's like HR departments in corporations are changing the rules about what they're trying to make the work environment because they're trying to attract the top talent for millennials and for Generation Z. I mean, they're saying you know what I mean. They're changing all the guidelines and the standards because they want to attract the top talent because that's what these kids are expecting. That's what they're wanting. They want to go to the Googles and the Yahoos.
When does this happen? When did this happen about the priest getting married?
Being celibate. This is this last week. They're considering changing some sort of rule about.
Hasn't happened yet.
No, I think they're
talking
considering
about
it.
So it says here, an advocacy group founded and formerly led by Emmanuel Malingo, a former Catholic bishop from Zambia. MPN is a liberal Catholic organization called for relaxing the rules concerning marriage in the Latin Church's priesthood.
Okay, well, that's marriage. This one was just talking about being celibate. So, I mean, I'm hoping. I mean, you're not supposed to have sex outside of marriage in the Christian faith, but I don't know. I don't know where they're going, but I will tell you that it is a often talked about thing about how liberal this Pope is. So, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah,
And
so
I don't care either. I don't care
either. That's the thing.
Yeah, why do they? I mean, I understand that they need to live in the church, and I understand based on like the 1600s and stuff like that. It was a fraternity, where essentially, and they needed these guys to be alone and not to be distracted and to focus on the Lord. However, you got to think what's really going on over there. Think about it.
Everybody, there's there's deviant behavior in every walk of life, and there is no different.
I'm looking at it from at a different lens here. So I'm going to bring up Woody Harrelson, Saturday Night Live, talking from just making a joke about the vaccine and the cartels. I'm going to do something similar with religion a little bit.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's just like
you ready, Jeff?
Just think about it. You got all these Catholic churches all over the planet.
Yes,
and they're essentially collecting money to give to the Pope.
A portion of it goes to the Pope, but the vast majority of it goes to the local parish.
Well, okay.
But yes.
It just seems to me like it's a huge racket.
Well, it depends on, you have to know what they're doing with that money.
But you never do.
Well, it's no different than the church I go to, right? Lots of people are giving lots of money, and it takes money to run programs. It takes money to run ministries.
You got gas, you got buildings, you got to...
No, I'm talking about ministries. Yeah, yes, you got your standard costs of running the building and all that kind of stuff, but you also have ministries that you're running. Ministries to help people with addictions. Ministries that help young couples make sure they're ready for marriage.
No, I get it.
There's a ton of ministries that you run,
right? At the end of the
right?
day, you're sending money somewhere,
and that too.
It rubs me wrong just a little bit. That when it just to me it's
almost like a pyramid scheme.
It just seems to me like he's like the head mafia guy taking 10% for the big guy.
You're talking about, and you're talking explicitly about the Catholic.
But it goes
Church.
deeper than that. It's just like the churches, they're tax free, so they don't have to pay taxes.
Right.
Well, no religious entity does.
Well, I didn't say Catholic. Just churches in general. They don't have to pay taxes. I think that's bullshit.
Well, let's think.
No.
So that money is been donated to them. It's not for profit, right? So the money that they're given has been taxed. So why should a church be taxed again?
All right. So, okay. I get it. But there are other things that the churches do to generate money. Sort of these glamorous, up-and-coming churches that have these glorified, quote-unquote, donation Starbucks when you walk into the door. Hi, I'd like an espresso double frappa fucking decaf poured with brown sugar with a little.
So these non-denominational churches.
That'll be $18.28, and thank you for your donation. All right.
Okay, hold on. So you're saying these are coffee shops being run by churches?
These are coffee shops that are in the foyer of the church collecting quote-unquote donations that don't pay taxes. Fuck you. Bullshit.
Interesting.
Call it what you want, but it's bullshit.
The church I go to just gives out coffee for free.
Well, I get
when
it.
You show up for your,
I'm not
I don't
saying,
know who's doing that. But
I'm not saying they're, oh, really? You don't know? You open your eyes, brother. You and I went to the same... Hold on, did we?
I don't.
Yes, we did.
No.
We did. We went to. You and I went to a Bible study where they had that out in the front. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. They do, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
They have these concession stands out in the front. And
everybody's looking for ways to have people donate money. Sure. I don't have an issue with that.
Okay, but it's not a matter of donation. I mean, these are run like businesses. To me, it just rubs me wrong. I just think that, look, if you're going to donate, great. That donation that you make should be tax-free because it's a donation and it's a good feeling, and that's what you should do. However, there's infrastructure in there that's totally, it's a racket.
I don't think, you know what? I don't treat it any differently than a charity. Right, you got charities that are they're tax free, right? Nonprofits, charities are nonprofit,
correct?
And they have all sorts of fundraising things that they do. They have balls and galas, and people donate money, and guess what? There are charities that screw you. Like for every
Oh yeah, there
for
are.
every $100 that is donated to them, $1 goes to the cause.
That's why I always hated when I worked at. I don't remember where I was at. They forced you to donate to United Way. You could either donate to United Way or
Yep.
there's one other one.
Oh, through a company.
Through the company, it says
Oh, and they have big fundraisers
Oh,
and
yeah.
drives. Hey, we have United Way is going to
Based-
come, and they're bringing in lunch.
yeah, based on your
and everybody
salary.
come down and pledge.
Yeah, based on your salary, you should be giving this percent.
Oh yeah, and they were pressuring pretty hard,
time.
especially if you were in leadership.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you were a manager or senior manager or director, you were expected. You were expected to donate to these United Way.
Yeah, big dollar.
And United Way's, I don't know. I shouldn't dog United Way, but there are people that kind of watch these nonprofits and they report.
Yep.
I mean, they publish these reports that say, out of $1, how much of that dollar goes to the cause.
Some of it's very small.
It's in a lot of them. It's incredibly small. And you know what, Sean? I'm not going to disagree with you. I think there are churches.
That's my point.
There are churches that fall into the same category.
Correct.
You see them spending money on private jets for their
That's my point.
bullshit. Their
You get
bullshit,
that
mega
creepy-eyed-
pastor church, right?
Yeah, that creepy dude that was, some, talking about, I had to buy that $1 million plane. It was so cheap, I had to buy it.
Right,
You know?
Oh,
or
yeah.
that was God was calling me to use that plane to reach more people,
So-
so I could change more hearts and you
So
know what I mean?
I'm thinking-
come on, really?
I'm
A
thinking-
private jet,
Can't fly coach
right?
to do the same thing.
Yeah, and you know what? The vast majority of priests do exactly that. That's the problem.
Oh.
Pastors and priests, they get a bad name because this jackass who's on TV, is flying around on a
It
private
ultimately,
jet.
there. It's in every organization. It's in
Absolutely.
all the politics too. I mean, the way they generate their money, donate to my cause, and it's a Red Cross. It's every organization out there. But
You know why? Because human nature.
well,
called greed.
It's human nature. It's
Money and power corrupts.
That's why you
ultimately.
have
Well,
these
what's the
guys
word?
that are at the churches that are collecting the what is that little the pan the donation time? What is it? That time?
Tithing, right?
You mean
Tithing?
when they
Donate money. They
When they-
pass around a dish to communion time.
in the Catholic Church? When they hand around the little
It's
bucket.
called tithing, isn't it?
No,
there's another
tithing-
word.
Tithing is just giving 10% of your salary to the church, but they
Yeah.
have it's called it's
Anyways,
when they pass the little
The
basket
guys,
around.
the
Right.
guys that run that program. I mean, I have heard hundreds and hundreds of times those guys that run those programs have gotten busted for stealing,
Skimming.
just skimming. Yeah, it's easy.
Taking money out of the baskets.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's awful.
Yeah, there's a church in South Irving. I was installing a sound system up there, and I met some guy up there that he was like the leader of one of these groups, and
There's several groups within the church
and
that do certain functions.
so I met him out there. He was like, "Yeah, we need this sound system changed. These speakers changed out, and we need a new soundboard over here. That mic need blah blah blah." So I started installing a bunch of stuff, and then I go out there the next week to continue the work. And the guys, St. Luke's, it was St. Luke's in South Irving, and they were like, "Oh, that guy's not here anymore." They found out he was stealing thousands and thousands of dollars every week.
Really?
Yeah, just skimming off the top.
That's just sick, man.
They pass around the plate. Put your money in there, and he would make all the
it's
guys.
called the offering.
Yeah, no, it's called something else, but it is an offering.
Yeah, I
But
think
there's
they-
another word that they were saying, but maybe it is an offering,
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. But whatever it is, he was. My point is that there are so many broken links in the chain.
Everywhere, though, dude. I mean, that's human nature.
but I
Power
don't.
and money corrupts
I still
ultimately.
get it rubs me wrong that they get a free pass on the taxes. Why do they get a free pass? I mean, why? You know what? Can dudes like us be a church?
Sure. You
We
file
can
the
be
paperwork.
a nonprofit. Yeah, not a church, but we can be a nonprofit.
We could be a nonprofit where we don't have to
No,
pay
we want
taxes.
to make money. I'd rather make money.
Yeah, if you don't pay taxes
We
if you're a
haven't made money
nonprofit,
yet.
is that right? You don't pay
That means
taxes if
you
you're a
don't make-
nonprofit.
I believe you have to be, what is it,
Five-
401c or 501c
yeah,
or
503, 503b or
and the IRS comes after you.
right. So yeah, I mean they're no different than nonprofit charities. And nonprofit charities are no different than churches when it comes to corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever. I don't want to beat that up too much. It's just, it's fresh in my mind. It just kind of bugs me sometimes.
But here's the thing.
man.
They don't, churches, I know we should talk about it, but churches don't make money. People donate money to their cause.
I disagree.
So
I disagree. And here's why I say I disagree. Because you got those pompous ass up-and-coming churches, and I say it like that because it's the same strain of church that they got, I got this fucking $20 million car out in the front. Look what it is. I got this this $20 million construction thing because we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that, we're going to buy it on, we're going to save money. I got a $50,000 Corvette over here, and I got this, and you got it lined up like a goddamn Price is Right show.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why aren't they paying taxes if they're doing shit like that? Who the fuck is this guy?
Right. Yeah. What you're talking about? You're talking about corrupt mega church
Like the Jim Baker,
leaders.
Tammy
Yes,
Faye,
yes.
Jimmy
That's what-
Swaggart.
That's what you're
I don't
talking
know
about.
if Joel, whatever his name is, I don't know if he's corrupt. I heard some negative
What about
spin.
the fart reverend? What was his name?
Tipton.
Yeah.
Tilton.
Those
maybe.
guys are out there, and they're always going to be out there. You just have to trust. You have to trust that for the most part, churches around the country and the world are doing what's right in terms of shepherding the spiritual health of their parishioners. All right, that's what it boils down to. And some of them don't.
There's a documentary on HBO about a church in Tennessee, and it was run by a lady. I can't remember what it is, and it was
Dolly Parton.
Could be.
Lawrence Walk.
Right. And it is, she got her start back in the, I think, late 80s. She wrote a diet book based around church doctrine and stuff. And it did extremely well.
A diet, like food.
Like losing weight.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's an HBO Max documentary. And this lady, it kept growing and growing and growing. And it's the
Gwen Shamblin-Lara.
Yes. Gwen
Nice.
Shamblin.
Look at you.
Anyway,
Wow.
I recommend it. It's fascinating because on the surface it looks like any other church, right? Little strange, right? Because a lot of it is geared toward weight loss, and they expected their parishioners to lose weight, and
Okay.
no one can be fat.
Exceptionally weird.
Yeah.
She died.
God couldn't care
She did.
less if you're fat or skinny.
Right. Well,
Actually, that's not true.
this
He hates fat people.
This was baked into their belief, their core belief. Anyway, this lady was a nut job. Watch this documentary, and
It's
what's-
going to make you lose all faith in people that
you're
are
just like,
leading
and
people.
what I think of, and because they're interviewing parishioners, and
They're all brainwashed.
they even go, I know a lot of people are going, how could you get wrapped up in this?
Yeah, how could you not see through the bullshit?
Yeah. I was just a normal person working my normal job, and they said the right thing at the right time.
Well, that's no different than David Koresh. That's no different than Scientology.
Well, the
That's
church is
no-
still going.
That's no different. Yeah, that's no different than any charismatic person who
It was a HBO special.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's fascinating, and what's
The
interesting.
Way Down, God, Greed, and the Cult of Gwen Shamblin.
Well, that's the
How
greed.
many cults have we heard about?
Well, that's the greed part is what made me think about it, because she lived in this mansion,
Right. There
and
you
had
go.
planes, and dumped her husband, married another guy, tried to steal someone's daughter, and she ended up her new husband got his new pilot, and they were flying to CPAC down in Miami to go see Trump,
They crashed.
and they crashed into a lake.
Damn.
They all died.
Oh, like recently
Yeah,
to see Trump.
like 2020,
2021.
Yeah, 2021 is when she died.
Damn.
Just outside
She was
of.
66 years old. So I got to
You see
hear.
that hair?
Oh my God, it's like a Jimmy.
She's a freak
Jiffy
looking.
popcorn hair.
She's a freak looking the way her hair is. They talk about that. Her hair is, and she looks terrible. But they're like, yeah, no one could tell her.
Oh yeah, but I would have told her. But those lips, God bless. Man.
Anyway, if you can watch it, I recommend it. It's fascinating, and
I don't know. Maybe Mr. Gwen Shamblin-Lara.
You know what's frustrating? It to me, it seems pretty simple to recognize where a church leader and where a church has gone sideways. It's really not that hard to see. You know what I mean?
Yep. There's.
Well, I mean, I can also. It's like you can get lost, unbeknownst to yourself, in the it's like an addiction. You don't realize. It's like, when we go out and start drinking, we don't realize until you're like, oh, I'm drunk.
Right.
Like, oh my God. And then you power through that and you're like, I'm wasted.
Right. Well, that's kind of what a lot of the people said, that and some of their doctrine was the kids have to obey their parents regardless, or anyone older than them. So they would have, like, all the kids would come and like other kids would watch it because they're older technically. It could be a 12-year-old watching a slew of 8-year-olds.
Right.
And whatever that 12-year-old said, you had to obey. Right. And if you didn't, well, there was repercussions. And actually there were 2 parishioners who killed their kid because they were beating them and stuffed him in a little chest, and he died. And they're in prison now.
Insane.
And the church supported them.
Yeah, it's just insane.
Got the lawyers and everything. So anyway, if you could see it.
So one of the stories Jeff is referring to is Joseph and Sonia Smith were inheritance of the Shamblin and had an 8-year-old son. Yeah. Sonia and Joseph routinely disciplined him, beating him with foot-long glue sticks, belts, and heated coat hangers, locking him in confined spaces for extended periods of time.
Yeah, she recommended glue sticks because they were pliable enough and they didn't leave the big bruises like something else would, I guess.
Yeah, well, I have heard of, chastisement, right? I mean, there is a certain age, up to a certain age that you are supposed to, correct your children with, not necessarily beating them, but, you swat them, right?
Course correcting.
Right. Right. But not after a certain age. Like, my understanding is, we took all sorts of parenting classes when we first had our first kid and all that kind of stuff. If you're not supposed to be physical with your kids after like 5 or 6 years old. But up until that age, it's okay to spank them, to teach them, right and wrong. Right. And yes, you're not supposed to use anything that could harm them. Like, our parents used like wooden spoons, right?
My dad would roll up a magazine.
Yeah. My father, is just one time, but he hit me with a, like a stick, like a board, that.
Hold on. Yeah, those are very 2 different things. Was it like a 2x4 or a 2x6?
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and tell the story because it's actually kind of funny.
Fucking Lincoln log.
you know how in the north you have the sliding doors, right? The back doors.
Correct.
Is like a sliding door. Well, and
you're talking about like the pajamas.
Like a patio door.
Back door.
Like a patio door.
No. Like a patio door, sliding door, and then you would put like a stick.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Down there to keep it
locked.
to keep it locked. Right. Well, I had misbehaved, and my father took that stick, and it's the right. It's perfect size. Right. It's meant for the sliding door.
It's meant for an ass whipping. He came to you.
But he was chasing me with it, and I was running upstairs, and he went to swat me, and it hit the top of my head and broke. And he was so upset because that was his sliding door. Now it doesn't work as a sliding door.
Right.
It didn't hurt me at all, right? It just cracked over.
Yeah,
it cracked. Oh no, God, no. I ran to my bedroom and hid in there for what probably seemed like a week, but it was probably like an hour.
Right.
Anyway, but my point is, you're supposed to spank with something pliable, right?
Yeah.
Something that causes a sting, but never going to hurt them. Not going to break the skin.
Anything my dad can find. I mean, he's cracked me over the head with a fucking with a broom once.
Right.
Just crowned me 6 stitches.
Nowadays, parents are terrified to touch their kids, to spank their kids.
Right.
I mean, if they're in the grocery store and they and they swat their kid on the butt, they get reported for child abuse.
It's
I
out
mean,
of
it's
line.
absolutely insane.
I'm going to wrap this up with the whole church thing, and it's just like I want to support churches. I grew up going to church. I don't go to church anymore for my own reasons, which I've explained in some prior podcasts. But at this point, I have, like, currently with my job, I deal with churches a lot,
Right.
and it's frustrating because of all the people that the customers, I should say, that I take care of and try to do a really good job to take care of them. Churches are the worst.
The hardest to work with.
They're hard to work with because it's like
Do they want everything for free? Or?
they want more than they're supposed to get. Well, why can't I get this? I was like, well, because it's not covered, or it's just like, it's like I'm doing one right now where they're claiming something happened to. They're claiming that the concrete got damaged from water. Okay, there is an oil-based epoxy on top of concrete. Oil-based.
So
I
nothing
wonder.
got down into it.
I wonder if it's because they. I mean, I know this is going to be contrary to what you've been saying, but maybe they're a little more sensitive about the money, so they are trying to get as much as they can possibly get.
But that falls under conniving. I mean,
Yeah, no, that's not right.
It's absolutely not right. So they're trying to get something that they don't deserve, and I'm like, dude, come on. I mean, if this were any other place, I mean, I got an engineer out there, and they were just like, it's oil based. If that coating is coming up and it's only a year old, it has nothing to do with the water.
But think about it from their perspective. All the money they get is donated to them. So if they don't get this claim to where, it's completely covered, they are going to have to ask for more money from their parishioners, or they're going to have to just eat it.
I don't care.
Well, I know you don't care, but I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of
a
nonprofit or a church.
But the
type
problem
scenario.
I have with that is that I don't care. I mean, nobody should care.
I get it.
They're asking for, it's like, okay, look, I dropped a 12-pack of beer on the ground.
Right.
Why do I have to give you a case back?
Right.
If you only, I mean, come on, man.
Fairness is fairness, right?
And it's just, and look, and it's not just that church. It's like almost all of them that are like this. It's the same thing with all of them.
That's sad to hear.
It is sad, and it's just like, and they get some of their buddies in there, and it gets conniving. And I never used to think like this.
Well, I think there are some things in life where your job has made you a little more skeptical of churches because of your experience. We don't have that.
And old ladies.
Yeah.
Old ladies.
Old ladies.
I'm joking.
Right.
Old ladies
See,
too.
I have my opinion.
Especially old church ladies.
In my work, I have opinions about certain things, right?
Sure.
Because I have to work with certain companies and certain things. And Paul, you same way. You got things that you're just like, man, this is bullshit.
Right.
Right.
And they're all the same.
Yeah, it's whatever. But I think it's all our experiences. You're exposed to something that you hadn't seen before, so now you've got some bad feelings about it.
Yeah, it's like behind the scenes kind of stuff.
If Paul or I started working with that every day, we may have the same opinion at that point.
Right.
We don't see it. You do.
Yeah, I do. And I'm having conversations with them, Okay, I'll give you one little snippet. Okay, there is, it doesn't even necessarily need to be about churches. It just so happened to be part of the church. But there's a company out there, and they've got, they call it equipment manager. This is a guy that will wheel in a dehumidifier.
Okay.
Or box fan or whatever the fuck they need. And his job is to wheel it in and set it up, plug it in the wall, make sure it's aimed the right way, document it, and then leave. Then he comes back, checks moisture readings, make sure everything's aimed still the right way, and leave. After like 3 or 4 or 5 days, after everything's dried, he takes the equipment, removes it, cleans it, and then puts it into storage. All right? $346.50 an hour.
Why?
Is what this guy makes?
That's what they're trying to charge.
Oh, the restoration company?
Yes.
And you're like, no.
They were like, well, it was Christmas.
And the whole time the device was there, every hour from the moment the device was there.
Just his service time, just while he was there doing it. So it'd be like 2 hours setup time, an hour every day, and then like 4 or 5 hours at the end to clean everything up. Which, come on.
Right.
They're paying that dude $15 an hour. Shut the front door.
Right.
Come on. $346.50. And you know what? They get away with it.
Right.
The carrier will end up paying for that stuff sometimes. And it's so, to me,
it's outrageous.
That's the reason why, and that is a microcosm of the reasons why our insurance is so high.
Right.
Is that I believe that the insurance realm is falling into this thing where they're starting to pick up the tab on all this shit because there's so much pushback. You got you got all these entities that are pushing back and filing these lawsuits against the insurance companies, and they're scared.
Right.
They're just like, fuck, man, we have to bend a little bit or we're going to get screwed in the long run.
It's no different than the medical system.
Yeah. I mean, look how much they charge for some of these drugs.
I mean, yes, it's all the same. It's all a
ridiculous.
racket. It's all a racket because there's so many hands in the pot, and everybody's making the bank. You know what I mean? Everybody, it's a racket.
Well, you hear about some of these drugs. Like there's an Alzheimer's drug that's $10,000 a month. Why?
Come on, seriously.
Does it work?
Why? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But
You know
why
what,
would it cost $10,000 a month?
You know, a lot of times people tell me, you know what, when you go to the doctor and you see the doctor for 45 seconds and then it's $140 for seeing them for 45 seconds, you're not paying them for the time that they spent with you. You're paying them for their expertise and all their schooling.
I paid them the previous 3 years for that.
Well, I agree. But that's what people kind of rationalize that. They're like, you're paying for their expertise and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's, and I think that's BS personally. But maybe that's, for a restoration company to stay in business and for them to invest all the capital in all the equipment that it takes to dry the walls and blow the little fans and have
box
the dude
fan?
and have, I know what I'm saying. I don't agree with what I'm saying, but you see where I'm going with this.
Yeah, you're playing devil's advocate, and I get it, but it's still
bullshit.
Even you got to think about it. That 340, who makes that much money? Lawyers don't make that much money. Doctors don't make that much monny.
Sure as hell do.
Lawyers do.
I'm just saying, look, think about it. Well, I'm okay. Maybe that was a bad analogy. But think about like electricians, plumbers, guys that are master plumbers, master electricians. They don't make that much money.
No.
Why is this dude out of high school charging $346.50
now
to go in there?
Are you saying that happens like every time somebody comes out with a restoration company, or that was a bullshit claim that you had to fight?
No, not every time.
That was like a one-off, some guy trying to get away with it.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot, and it usually happens with mitigation companies. These guys, I just
especially during the holidays.
Anytime there's a catastrophe, and the word that I'm driving at is gouging.
Yeah.
Okay. It's against the law to gouge.
Right.
All right. So when you take a catastrophe and you charge 2 and 3 and 5 times the amount of money that you would during the normal time,
because you can.
That's against the law. It's called gouging.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they're doing. So why don't they respect that word, gouging? Because that's what they're doing.
Well, how do you report someone like that?
Well, I just deny it. I mean, first of all, I don't have the authority to deny anything. My job is to report back to the carriers and just say,
and then
hey,
you
look,
recommend.
I make my recommendations. Hey, look, this is what we found. Based on what we believe, it is likely that it should cost about this much too. We don't know where the fuck they got that number from, but this is how much it should cost. We believe, and then then they will make their decision. But it's been overturned a lot lately, especially in its
your recommendations, you mean?
When our yes, when especially when it's like a really high claim, like if it's a $500,000 one or higher, it's just like they're afraid to rock the boat. And I asked these people specifically, like the guys that are my mentors, and the guys that are training me, and even their mentors, to really understand the spirit of what's going on behind that. And they just, it all boils down to like, yeah, they're just scared. They don't want to be sued. It's going to cost them less money to keep this out of courts than to just pay them.
Dude, but that's the whole premise of frivolous lawsuit settlements. That's why people bring these frivolous lawsuits. They know that a company is more willing to pay out $200,000 than to spend $600,000 fighting the lawsuit in court.
Correct. Well, it's also...
And so that's what they do. They went ahead and they just file these things hoping to get settlements.
Well, it's kind of like the insurance companies. I just read an article about these EVs, and we may have talked about this, where insurance companies are jacking up the insurance premiums for battery cars, electric vehicles. Because
in 10 years.
No, because they have to total cars who have very minimum damage to it. Because if the battery case has a scratch on it, they have to total the car. Because they have to replace the whole battery for $20,000.
Right.
Because the EV companies, all the car companies, will not allow these insurance companies to see the diagnostics to see if the batteries are still good. And they don't want to take the risk to say, this battery's good, then something happened. So what they do is they total the car. It may have 2,000 miles on it.
And a scratch on the bumper.
Scratch, but it did something to, maybe it scratched the casing of the battery.
Right.
Everything inside is 100% fine. They don't know that.
I wonder if there's a way to convert those cars.
They can't test it. So they say a lot of these electric vehicles are getting totaled very low mileage, and they're starting to line up in these junkyards, and they're removing the batteries, and they're having to stick them in these containers because they don't have anywhere to put them.
What a nightmare!
Yeah.
And didn't you say that the batteries have a shelf life?
Sure. Yeah. They can only, yeah.
And so people are. And what is the shelf life? Like 10 years, 15 years?
Well, I think it's by mileage, right? It's by charges as well.
So, I mean, don't people know? Is it a secret that when you buy a Tesla, you should expect to spend $15,000 replacing the battery pack?
People don't think about that
after 10 years. Is that true though? Is that true?
And well, until the batteries get better, yeah.
I mean, because I've had my car since 2006.
Yeah.
And so you're telling me that if that had been an EV car, I would have had to have spent $10,000 to $15,000
for a new battery.
Yes. And that's every Tesla that I see on the road.
Electric cars
is facing this at some point.
It's a fruitless venture.
Amazing.
I think electric cars is something cool that some people should have. Not everyone, and I don't think people should use it all the time. I just it's a novelty, electric cars, because at the end of the day, at the end of the year, at the end of the world. Fossil energy is the way to go. Period.
It is.
I mean, it costs so much to harvest the materials.
Yeah, we're not there yet
for batteries. It's ridiculous compared to fossil fuels. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, again, you have a less of a carbon footprint using the regular standards to get the fossil fuels.
Right. Well, they say that you have to drive the electric vehicle tens of thousands of miles to negate the footprint that it created when they created the car. Plus,
to get the batteries too.
To get the batteries and the creation of the car, there's like you have to drive it 80,000 miles. I made that number up. 80,000 miles before you get that paid off.
You even get back to zero.
Correct. By that time, your battery is nearing the life in the next 20,000 miles. So you're going to have to replace it. But they said what's happening is these cars, as they get into these little accidents, they're not even getting close to that threshold. So they're like, it's actually worse for the environment, these electric vehicles,
than
an ice car.
For just, where to store these batteries.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, there's
they need to launch them into the sun.
Well, yeah, but what if that rocket blows up? 3 miles up.
You know the cost of
batteries
building
everywhere.
a rocket that goes to the sun would cost.
You know how heavy those batteries would be? You stack them in there. But anyway,
what a mess. That's the problem with all this woke climate change and green energy and all this kind of bullshit.
they don't think about this
It's
stuff.
not built. It's a house of cards. I mean, it's
is.
It's phantom.
And they said what's happening is, well, some of the comments, I was reading some of the comments as well, but they said, there's all these hidden costs that make electric vehicles very expensive.
Right. And by the way, they're being subsidized by the government,
Correct.
which means they're not even you can't even sell them on the market in a regular,
Right.
capitalist society model.
As electric prices keep going up, the cost to charge your vehicles going up.
Yep.
The insurance rates are going up because insurance companies are losing their ass on them right now. So the insurance rates, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to insure these things. You have to replace the battery. And they also, some of the comments were like, I think electric vehicles should pay a tax every year because they're not paying the road tax when they buy fuel. But they're using the same roads we are. And they're heavier, which makes the roads degrade faster.
And makes those vehicles more dangerous on the road
Correct.
in wrecks.
Right. So
Because they're sleeping while they're driving.
No, because they're heavy.
Oh, yeah, that too.
right. They're heavy.
Yeah.
They're like
they're heavy vehicles with sleeping drivers. Yes.
right.
Elon Musk addressed that.
Which breaks the road down faster.
Unbelievable.
So they're not paying that road tax, the gas tax that everyone else is
To upkeep the roads.
to upkeep the roads.
Unbelievable.
So there's kind of some arguments going, well, if you have an EV, there should be an extra tax at the end of the year, a road tax saying we're all paying it, you should pay it as well.
Amazing.
Agreed. I mean, and it's a hefty tax too, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at about gallon, how much of that, you break down the denominations.
Oh, a fair amount of it's going to federal
I
federal
want to
tax.
say, is it like 40% goes to the roads?
I don't know. I don't know how much it is, but it's
I know
not
they have all that
it's
broken
not
down.
insignificant.
So
It's fascinating when you break down everything that goes into it and how it is a bad thing for the environment.
and they said that it's almost impossible. There's very few places who know how to replace the battery.
Well, what about this? What if they were to take the batteries, and it's probably very labor intensive. Is that here ringing?
That's my watch.
Oh, so there's it may be labor intensive, but is there a way to repurpose the batteries? Not necessarily in another vehicle, but are you able to take the batteries and chop them up and maybe put them in phones or flashlights?
I think the best opportunity is to take all those batteries and hook them up to stationary bikes at gyms.
Yes. Yes.
And then all the people that are on the stationary bikes are charging the batteries.
Yeah, so to create a never-ending grid backup.
One of the things that I also read in this article is the Teslas, the new ones that are built down there in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
The batteries are part of the structure. So
They can't even be removed.
they are glued to the structure to give it rigidity, right? So it's part of the structure. So you can't. So if you get in a wreck, it's going to damage it even more, right? So and you just can't go in there and replace those
because they're
as easily.
Permanently on there.
Yes, they've glued them down, and they did this.
Oh my god!
They did this
but-
to save money.
Yeah, but they know that those batteries at some point are going to need to be
They're
replaced.
passing that to the customer down the road. They saved money building their car like this.
Elon Musk did.
Elon Musk did, says we can save how much 10% by building our frame and our batteries like this, so they're all it's one.
Well, I'm sure
structure.
it's like a cartridge.
And
No, they're not cartridges.
And he's getting
there are
government-
thousands of batteries.
and he's getting government subsidies to build these cars.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. And he paid that back.
In fact, he wasn't even
With interest.
invited to the electric car annual. Joe Biden had come up with this electric vehicle, the EV place, and Elon Musk was saying, "Man, I wasn't even invited," because he would dog Joe Biden in his tweets.
You know that Tesla stock was booted out of some ESG hedge fund, even though it's an electric car company.
Right.
He got booted out of the ESG. He had a too low of an ESG score.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And
that's when Elon Musk was railing on ESG,
oh man, and he continues. He's kind of like, we weren't even invited to that annual EV car thing that Biden created.
Right.
And it's like, they made like Ford the spokesman. He's like, Ford has like 100 or 200 cars that they put out. We have like 100,000 we're putting out a year, and
it was all political.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, 100%.
Wow.
He's just like, that just shows that he's just like, that shows you everything.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all politics and show and dog and pony show. That's all it is.
It is.
I mean, and this whole Trump, this whole Biden, vetoing the ESG.
And it passed both houses.
Both bipartisan agreement.
What was his? I haven't read. What was his reasoning on why he
was saying
it?
he was saying that the GOP is trying to restrict.
Climate change.
He tried to turn it around and say, they're trying to restrict Americans' ability to invest in responsible companies.
He brought up something about corporate leaders making money, is what he talked about. He was sitting on his desk. So let's see if you can pull up videos. He was sitting at his desk and he was fucking whispering.
Painful.
Did you see the footage where the reporters in the White House press room were fighting with each other?
Yeah, it's the African.
Yes,
it's the African reporter.
Yeah, the guy from South Africa.
Yeah,
he's been very upset for quite a long time.
She had called on him in 7 months.
Yeah, he never gets called on.
Well, because she doesn't like his tough questions, right? So
she doesn't want to answer.
And she knows that no one's going to hold her accountable for ignoring him, but she still has to call on Ducey from Fox News because they know that is the most watched cable television show on TV. So she has to call on him, but she doesn't have to call on the South African dude.
Yep.
Yeah, crazy.
That'd be frustrating. I get it. You're there to do a job, and I'm sure his arm's up. He has questions, and he never gets called on.
And then they were yelling like decorum. Did you? I guess you watched it.
Let's watch the Trump ones. When who's that dumbass who would not sit down?
Yes.
What was his name?
He wrote a book, and everything was about
him.
He was the CNN guy.
Yeah, I mean, talk about decorum. Come on.
Yeah, what was his name? But Trump called on him.
Well, he did, but he
wasn't scared.
But then he wanted to. This guy wanted to keep asking questions.
He wanted to.
He's like, "No, you're done. You're done," and he wouldn't give in.
Yep. I remember. I can't remember the guy's name though. Such a jackass.
What was that guy's name?
Obnoxious. Just look up obnoxious CNN reporter. You'll find it right away.
Jim Acosta.
Yeah, yes. Acosta.
Is he still around? Is he doing anything?
Yeah, he is around.
He has his own show now. I think he's not. He's not a reporter anymore. I think he's got his own CNN or his MSNBC show. But I may be wrong on that.
Yeah, I'm surprised Don Lemon is still.
Around. His own staff was attacking him.
I know,
and he still managed to.
He got through it. He's a gay black man. He checks boxes.
Yeah, I guess he's allowed to do whatever the hell he wants.
He checks boxes.
Well, it's too bad we can't find it. So basically, he was sitting at the Oval Office at his desk, and he was talking about his decision, and he kind of spoke. Remember when he was sitting in that one meeting where he was talking about, well, God damn it, I fired him, or I said, hey, look, you have until the end of today, or before my plane takes off the tarmac to fire that lawyer.
Right.
He had the same kind of the way he was talking. He was,
the Ukrainian lawyer.
Oh yeah, for the oil company.
Yep, Burisma. The lawyer that wanted to go, the attorney general that wanted to go after Burisma in Ukraine.
Click that second one down.
God, that was so corrupt.
Well, there's a lot of shit right now because they're getting some bank records.
Oh, there it is. See, click it. Just let that play.
They're getting some bank records.
Yeah, they're going after the Biden family.
See, that's the picture right there. That's when he was.
Well, they're not going to show the video.
Well, he talks about it there and elaborates a little bit, but he says it in a creepy way, like he's
Like I know better than you.
Well, I mean, even like I was saying on the 5, Robert Gutfield, or was that his name?
Yeah, Gutfield.
Gutfield was like,
Greg.
Greg Gutfield. He was like, what does he have, a sleeping baby in the room? He didn't want to talk loud enough, or is he
so loud?
It's like were there golfers playing through, or what was going on? He kept coming up with these ideas.
Just weird.
Anyway,
It is just.
Is there a way
weird.
you can hit play right there just
I
to see if they?
wonder why they won't show this, because it's not flattering. Maybe.
Legislation passed by the Congress would put at risk the retirement savings of individuals across the country. They couldn't take into consideration investments that wouldn't be impacted by climate, impacted by overpaying executives, and that's why I decided to veto it.
Yeah, there you go. In a sense, that's what it was. The decisions that they were making was going to impact the climate, and it was going to overpay executives. That's what I got out of that.
Yeah,
He's an idiot.
Yeah, he was saying he was blaming the GOP for
Making
preventing
CEOs richer.
Yeah, preventing Americans from investing in companies that have high ESG scores, which those are the companies that are contributing to helping solve the climate change problem. So he's saying, and instead of investing in those companies, they want to invest in companies that make corporate executives rich. That's just that anybody who has a brain.
You make the executives rich, you make everyone else rich.
All right, I'm going to do a 90-degree turn.
But anybody who's got a brain can see right through that.
I'm going camping in April. All right, my birthday's coming up April 1st, or April 2nd. Also, is April 1st. I want to go there, and
you got a good backyard.
You can.
Not quite the same
Fire
thing.
pit.
And you could burn some styrofoam.
No, I want to go, man. I want to go I want to drive out there. I want to spend 2 nights and 3 days out there.
My April's pretty booked.
Well, you don't have to go.
I want to go.
Saying, I want to go.
I want to go, though.
April's still going to be. It shouldn't be cold in April. No.
I want it to be cold. I want it to be a little cold.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh. We've decided to do something interesting for the cabin. You know how we've always been talking about, hey, we're going to Colorado, yay. We're going to go up there for 2 or 3 weeks, and we're going to just invite whoever wants to come at certain times.
Yeah, when is this?
Come on up. We're looking at May.
Oh. Well, I want to go camping in April.
I may be able to do something in May. I'm going to Vegas in May.
Oh, why are you going to Vegas?
Steven's 21st birthday.
Oh, shit. Get ready to drop some bank.
Yeah. Brandon can't go, though.
Those are like $18 drinks. When we were bar hopping in Vegas, they give you this little tiny cup, and it's like $18 a drink.
A lot of the weekends full. I've got Steven's girlfriend has something in April. Ring dunk. Do you know what that is?
I don't even care.
thing.
It's more like
Yeah.
Like
It's,
what weekend is what I'm looking at.
Well,
Yeah.
we got that's one weekend, and then we have the masquerade ball that we're all going to. One weekend.
We all? What do you mean?
Yes.
Like me?
Yes.
I'm not going to masquerade ball.
Yes, you are.
What? Why? What's
Sarah
going on?
bought you tickets. $250.
I'm not going.
Free open bar.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Am I invited?
Yes, Shelley bought tickets. You don't remember all that?
Oh, I'm going to?
Yes.
Woohoo. Open bar.
I'm going. We're all going.
Nice.
To masquerade ball.
All right, look, here's the deal. I'm going in April. All right? Period. I'm sick of it. So I will buy a fucking hammock tent, and I
Okay.
will stay out there by myself.
In Palo Duro Canyon.
And yes.
Okay.
I will buy some peyote and get...
You ever done peyote?
Never. I have no idea
What
even what
exactly
it
is
is.
peyote?
That's like the Indian
It's
drug.
like some
isn't
sort
it?
of cactus yucca
Is Indian
influence.
meth?
I have no idea.
It's a
don't think-
hallucinogen, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I for the
Take 'em
record,
in the-
I'm not doing peyote. I just...
Shrooms.
You're just throwing that out there.
I'm not... No, there's no way I'll do any of that shit.
Why go all the way out there? Why not just go to like the lake?
Joe Pool.
Yeah, Joe Pool Lake or.
Why can't I go to Palo Duro Canyon?
It's a long. It's like
6-7
5
hours away.
hours.
No, it's 4.5 hours.
Okay,
It's past
4.5 hours.
It's
I don't
past
have a
Lubbock,
problem.
isn't it?
I don't have a problem going out to Palo Duro Canyon.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know you've been talking about it for a long time. I'm just saying, if you want to do like camp out somewhere,
Well,
there's
Brinkman Ranch.
you,
Just
you could go
walk over.
You could go visit the pygmies at the corner of Main Street and Hillcrest.
I want to do something, but April's tough for me. So,
Yeah.
weekend wise,
All right.
we need to do this with more things and say this is what we're doing, and this hopefully
I've
we
been
have.
telling you guys.
Well, I know, but it's
for
just
an extended period.
This is the first time I've ever heard you talk about.
You're full of
Calico.
shit.
well in April.
And you're right. It's actually.
Freezing cold.
Well, no. It says it's 5 hours and 47 minutes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to say there's so many closer places you can camp, like in your backyard, in Lake Ray Hubbard.
Oh my God! Why can't I go to Palo Duro Canyon? It's like the second largest canyon on the planet, next to Grand Canyon.
But you want to do that by yourself?
You know what? If you guys can't make time, then I'm gonna go. I'm tired of putting it off.
Oh, are you hearing this, Jeff? He's being all he's laying down an ultimatum here.
Right.
Oh, you don't have to go.
This is blackmail.
I will.
Some
You know
form
what?
Of emotional.
I've talked to my son. He's
Emotional
willing to
coercion.
go.
It's my anniversary in April as well.
I'm actually looking forward to it.
Well, we just need to figure it out. I need to get all my dates that I'm unavailable in April and try to work something out.
That's good.
All right,
I may be
can
busy.
Can we talk
every
about our rye
stinking-
whiskey?
Yeah, do you like it?
I hear music. Did we already talk about the rye whiskey?
No.
Oh, well, we better hurry up and touch it because I hear music.
It is Redemption High Rye Bourbon.
So,
Ours is
yeah,
100
I said
ours is
bourbon. You
100
said it's a rye bourbon. It's
Ours,
me as
well, it says High Rye Bourbon.
I know.
Ours is 105 proof though. This is 92 proof.
It's not bad. It's got a little bit of a bite that I'm not really a fan of.
Has some good smells.
Boom, boom, boom.
All right, there we go. There's the bourbon. Sean, what do you think of it, real quick?
It was okay. It was just okay. You could definitely taste the rye. It was definitely rye. It was just okay. I mean,
I'd give it a 5.5.
I mean, it's not that. It
I'd
wasn't
give it a little
92
bit higher
proof.
than that.
This one was like 104, 105 proof,
Yeah,
right?
105, I think. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not mad at it. It just was okay.
I agree.
It would have been better if it were like 116. I'm not saying that from a proof standpoint. I'm just saying it from a taste perspective. But whatever. Redemption Redemption's a high quality bourbon.
Yeah, it is good. They have a quite a line.
And it's a high rye bourbon, which we would never ever like before.
Right.
We're like,
That's a good
oh,
point.
it's the weeded bourbon. It's the best shit on the planet.
That's a good point.
You
Yeah.
know, or we're
All right.
starting to explore different options going on. Well, Paul, wind us down.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Paul.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Jeff.
I'm Sean.
It was terrible.
Students, I
That
guess.
was terrible.
And thank you. It's March 21st.
21st. Second
And-
day of spring.
God bless. Doesn't feel like
That's
spring.
right.
I'm digging it, though. If this is spring, I don't want to go back. I love the cold. All right, late.